to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. A 47-year-old former Louisiana sheriff's deputy will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars after admitting to a slew of horrific crimes, several of which involved minors. Dennis Wallace Perkins was sentenced to 100 years in state prison on Tuesday after the former Livingston Parish Sheriff's deputy and SWAT commander pleaded guilty to 1 count of second-degree rape, 2 counts of S.B. of a minor, 1 count of video voyeurism, 2 counts of production of video involving minors under the age of 13, and 1 count of the mingling of harmful substances. Perkins had originally been facing more than 75 criminal charges when he was first arrested in 2019, but prosecutors agreed to drop the dozens of remaining counts in exchange for Perkins agreeing to enter a guilty plea. He is also required to register as a offender for the remainder of his life. Among the most headline-grabbing of his criminal acts is the mingling of harmful substances charge. Perkins and his wife, 36-year-old Cynthia T. Perkins, used this fluid to season cake batter, which she then served to students at Westside Junior High School, where Cynthia had been previously employed as an English teacher. Authorities said that Perkins filmed himself making the revolting concoction. Cynthia Perkins pleaded guilty in February to charges of second-degree rape, production of CEO, and conspiracy of mingling harmful substances. As previously reported, specific acts pleaded to in her deal included aiding her husband in S, a minor, and aiding her husband in filming a minor who was bathing. She was sentenced to 41 years in prison provided she testified against her husband should he go to trial. Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry said today, Dennis Perkins admitted to his despicable crimes and pled guilty in court. He not only waived any right to appeal, probation, or parole in any attempt to avoid conviction, but Mr. Perkins also spared the victims from reliving his horrific crimes during trial. In a follow-up post to Facebook, Ag Landry said the conviction was in the best interest of our victims and justice. Our state is suffering from a crime epidemic, and it is going to take a strong commitment from local and state officials to defeat it, he said. Criminals must be punished for their crimes, and victims must be supported. Today, my office sent a loud message to predators lurking. If you harm children, you will receive the justice you deserve. Prior to Circuit Judge Erica W. Sledge handing down the sentence, Perkins addressed the court and expressed regret for his despicable conduct. I'm sorry, it's been more than 3 years living in a box and it's not about me. I just want to make this statement. Jesus Christ has forgiven me, and I'm grateful for that. And I hope and pray that anybody that this affected will also find forgiveness and healing through Jesus Christ. He also reportedly told the court that he wished certain facts would have came to light in pretrial motions that would have helped his case, but conceded that we just ran out of time. In addition to testimony from victims, investigators reportedly seized a trove of incriminating media when they raided the home Perkins shared with his wife, recovering more than 2,600 photos and 300 videos depicting illegal content. Assistant Attorney General Barry Milligan reportedly told the outlet that the evidence obtained in the case was the worst he personally had ever seen. Perkins' crimes reportedly involved 2 child victims, 2 adults, and 1 dot. During Perkins' wife's proceedings, her attorneys repeatedly maintained that her husband was the mastermind of their criminal activity and claimed that Perkins manipulated his wife. He is the real monster, Cynthia's attorney Paul Scott said during his client's plea hearing last year. That's what she wants to make clear. It's not about shifting blame. She took responsibility today. I mean, that's what she did, but she looks forward going after the real monster. Well, here we are again. I remember reporting on this story some years ago, and this is, I guess, the ending to that story. The wife got time, awesome, and now he's going to get time. But before that was able to take place, he was able to speak, which I don't know why he was able to speak, and he was able to state that, well, I know that Jesus Christ forgives me, and I'm happy that Jesus forgives me. Now it's time for everybody else to forgive me for what it is that I did directly to them and their children. Wow. Wow, that was a quick forgiveness. Like, what specifically did you do? Who did you sacrifice in order to do that? Because I'm not exactly too certain how it is that any God can decide, except for one, can decide to forgive you for the fact that you wanted to use a type of fluid in order to add to the baking mixture. And then you decided that you wanted to feed this directly to teenagers. You wanted to give these baking items to school kids, and I'm a little bit confused. I'm a little bit confused. And last time I checked, this dude was a cop. He was a what, a sheriff's deputy. He was law enforcement. He was the one that's supposed to obey, and protect the innocent. He swore an oath to protect your family, your community. It also, reminds me yet again that he doesn't look black. Ain't that something? So this individual decided to do this to kids in his own community. And it's amazing to me, as I've continuously stated, that stories like this don't seem to really get the type of light, the shine that if a black man did this, everybody would be talking about it, right? Everybody be talking about it, trying to condemn it, trying to, you know, uh, um, separate themselves from this and all this other type of. But it just so happens that it's a reflective majority of Caucasian European pilgrim pagan. Um, it's amazing how this seems to work out. And it wasn't like he was just in it himself. His wife was in it as well. She was the one that actually flipped on him and basically stated that, hey, all of this was his idea. Wow. Wow. She flipped on him so she would get less time. Woo! Ooh, that gotta hurt. That has to sting. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be eating some great baking goods when he's locked up in prison. When a lot of the guys they hear, specifically, you know what he was doing. I'm pretty sure they're going to give him that Glorilla treatment and put some seasoning directly on his prison food. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure, and he's gonna have to take that L and more than likely eat that. Yep, yep. But it's also amazing how a lot of these individuals always want to turn and state that they're God fearing people. They always want to turn to Christ. They always want to turn to religion when all else fails. Let me just fall back on God. God will forgive me. Notice how that works. Notice how some of the most violent individuals were some of the most quote unquote God fearing. Like a lot of the people that were part of the mob, they were the main ones going to church, but yet they were committing a lot of atrocities. A lot of, people, a lot of bodies were just directly on the ground, block for block, street for street, corner for corner. Like that's how they just had it lined up. Remember the St. Valentine's Day massacre? That was one of the most deadliest massacres in United States history, and that happened in Chicago. But guess what? Those people were, I don't know how to say this. Betty White. How about that? Betty White. That's exactly what they were. So yeah, yeah, like I said, people will continue to deflect and not focus on the actual problem, the actual issue, and they will continuously focus in on black people. But like I told y'all before, this is what happens. This is what it gets you when you decide that you want to just put all of your focus on black people and you want to condemn and deem black people as the most villainous, the most criminal minded, the most unintelligent. You want to say that we are the most evil of the evil, but look at your own people. But oh, I forgot, this isn't evil. This is normal because this is what you do in your household, right? This is what you do in your household, right? This is, what pretty much how y'all got like kings and queens, and y'all hold a lot of that stuff directly in the family because this is the type of stuff that you guys allow. This is a normalcy that goes on. The only difference is that this is a commonality that takes place in your community, but this is just the first time that we were able to hear of it. So for a lot of people, they were like, "Oh, well, this is just an offshoot. This is just a variable that doesn't speak for everybody directly out there." All right, I guess if you want to go that far, I'm just going to warn you: be careful of the people's houses of who you decide to eat at, because you could be the next victim of this.